Thank you so much, sir, speaking with NDTV Profit. I would like to start, asking you that a lot of chatter around the special 40% rate. So if you could elaborate what all item would fall under that category and whether the tax incidence would remain same across the item which is in this category, sir.
Shimi, on 40% category, there are very few items. And the items are like sin goods, which we consider tobacco products and pan masala, that we consider as sin goods. So on that, the rate has been kept at 40%. Apart from that, on luxury cars, which presently were attracting 28% plus compensation cess of varying from 20% to 13% and lower. So those cars will be attracting now 40% rate from 22nd September onwards. But the small cars, which were attracting 20% plus 1% compensation cess, so those cars will now be attracting 18% rate. So the rate is reduced on small cars, whereas the luxury cars will continue to attract the rate at 40%. Some cars which were attracting a rate more than 40% are now will be at 40% because 40% is the maximum rate which can be levied under GST law.
So just a clarity here, since the finance minister also said and stated that the tax incidence would remain the same, especially for tobacco products. And as you are explaining here that other items like all the premium and luxury segment, whether it's car or carbonated drinks, which are in the 40% special category, is going to be more or less neutral. So is it a significant boost to all these luxury and premium segment?
Yes. So as you have mentioned that aerated waters, in fact, I could not mention in my reply that aerated water and certain other products which were earlier attracting 28% plus 12% compensation cess will continue to attract 40%. And few more items have been added in that. Those are non-alcoholic beverages. So in that, this non-alcoholic beer or certain items like Red Bull and these energy drinks will now be attracting 40% rate. Apart from that, there are certain services which will also be attracting 40% rate, like admission to, say, IPL or admission to casino. So, or this online money gaming, though it is banned, but it will also be attracting 40%, and lotteries and horse racing, that will also attract 40% rate.
Much higher than the previous rate, which is like 28% plus cess was there. Also, one quick clarity, sir, on the fact that the tax incidence on tobacco would remain same. So, any consideration, any talks on the additional levy as far as the tobacco products and similar items are concerned?
The tobacco, as I mentioned just now, that the new rates will be effective from 22nd September. In respect of all items except the tobacco products, pan masala, cigarettes. So on these items, the present levy rates will remain applicable till the time amount collected through compensation cess is sufficient to repay the loan and interest. This loan was taken by the center to make the payment to the states or to cover up the revenue growth of states at 14%. And in the pandemic time, this loan was taken. And therefore, this amount compensation cess is continued to collect from July 22 onwards, just for collecting the amount for loan and interest repayment.
So post-cess regime, sir, what is the plan? Since the discretion is with central government as far as tobacco is concerned, is there any discussion in the council meeting?
The council can discuss only the issues related to GST. In GST law, the maximum rate which can be levied on any item is 40%. And therefore, the GST Council has made a recommendation that on tobacco products and other sin goods and pan masala, the rate maximum rate, which is 40%, will apply once the goods transition to the new rates.
Sir, on the life and health insurance, of course, there is a huge relaxation for individual policy holder, but there are concerns around the transmission of those rates, of course, because insurers have been talking about that it may, move up the cost for premium. So how you are ensuring that they pass on those benefit to the end consumer?
When we buy a policy, there is a premium and then a GST charge on that. So we have to make the payment of sum total of premium plus GST. Since the GST is now been exempted, so the amount will not be collected by the insurance company on account of the GST portion. As far as premiums are concerned, yes, it is possible that input services which have been availed by the insurance company and the GST paid on that, that will get embedded in the premium amount. But overall, since the insurance company, they were making, when they were discharging their GST liability, they were not discharging this entire liability from their ITC available to them. They were discharging it by ITC as well as making the cash payment also. So now they will not be required to make this cash payment. So definitely the policy seeker will have to make lesser payment on count of premium plus GST.
So you kind of hoped to have a smooth transition. Quickly on the point that a lot of tinkering also happened in the services. Your air travel, for example, the economy and business class, the hotel accommodation. Could you elaborate a bit how the things have changed as far as services are concerned, and how did you fix the classification dispute that has been there in the services sector?
Yeah, in transportation services, earlier there were multiple rates, 5% with ITC, 5% without ITC, under RCM or under forward charge, 12%, 18%. So now there is a rationalization exercise which has been carried out, because it should not matter whether the goods are transported by, say, road or by rail or by a combination of road and rail that we call as multimodal transport. So now rates have been rationalized. Either it is 5% without ITC or 18% with ITC. So rate rationalization exercise has been carried out on the transportation services. And as far as you have mentioned about air travel, on air travel, now, because now we have only two rates, 5% and 18%. So rates will have to be applied accordingly. If something which was at 12% will either move to 5% or 18%. Accordingly, this rate rationalization exercise has been carried out in respect of all sectors.
Last question, sir, on the electric vehicles, and in fact there were proposal around increasing some of the premium segment of EVs to higher tax bracket. What led you to not take up that matter, and if you could elaborate a bit, because it's continued to be in the concessional 5% rate?
It's a policy of the government to promote EVs because these vehicles don't cause any pollution. So with that objective, the rate of duty or GST rate was kept at 5%, and that policy is continuing.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us and sharing your insight on the GST post-council meeting, sir. Thank you so much.